So if you're watching this video, you're probably either currently sick or you're just wondering, just in case I do get sick, what are some tips or things that I have to say about singing while you're sick? If you're new here, hi, my name is Katie. I am a guitar, voice, and ukulele teacher, and I have been teaching since 2008. And today I'm going to share with you some vocal care and some vocal techniques that I've learned and that I teach my students in order to help them sing while they're sick. Number one is rest. Of course, we know that rest is essential, but how essential is it to the vocalist? Well, I learned something from a choir director in high school, and he relayed some information to us, the students, is that when you don't get enough sleep, your voice is going to suffer. And how much does it suffer? He told us that one of the last things to heal on your body's register are your vocal mechanism. Your body basically thinks that it's not super essential. So if you get enough rest, you try to sleep, guard your sleep, make sure that you're not drinking caffeine too late in the day, make sure that you're winding down, blocking out blue light, guard your sleep, and it's going to help.
You can't rush art.
Two is hydration. I think we know that hydration is very important, but sometimes we think, well, is there something else that I can do to lubricate the joints? And I've heard from some holistic practitioners that I've worked with is that eating healthy fats also helps lubricate the joints. And so then if you're eating avocados and salmon and things that are, have healthy fat content, that it also helps lubricate and hydrate the joints, so as well as your vocal folds. So water is very important, but also thinking about the healthy fats might be a game changer for you. What we put into our bodies can help or make things worse. Drinking warm liquids but not too hot like herbal tea, or taking showers and allowing the steam to clear the nasal passages helps me a lot. And avoiding foods that could cause more mucus and inflammation is key, like sugar, carbs, dairy, alcohol, and chocolate, to name a few. Now, this is very important, is that you don't overdo it. I mean, some of us, we don't understand maybe that we're overdoing it, but you can overuse your vocal cords. Something that the same choir director that talked to me about rest was that your voice only has so many miles on it per day, or just like so much gas in the tank until you run it out. And so then if you have to sing for a certain event, and beforehand you're talking, you're shouting, you're screaming, you're like trying to talk over people and you're talking really loud, that is going to wreck your voice.
I'm gonna wreck it!
So give it a rest, pull it back. But on the other end of the spectrum, don't whisper. Because what happens when you whisper is that your vocal folds, what they do is that they just barely touch to be able to create a sound. And that actually puts more strain on your voice than if you were speaking. So when you speak, try to speak in a resonant tone right up here. Well, how do you find that resonance quickly? A way that you can find it is if you give a staccato on an ooh or hoo, 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 hoo. You're going to feel a lightness right here. That's a great way to find that resonance. Hoo, 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 ha, ha, ha. Thinking about speaking a little bit lighter, maybe a little bit up here when you have to speak, it really does help to keep the pressure off of your vocal cords or your vocal mechanism. I do have a video on the mask of singing and how you can place your tone in certain areas of your face in order to have a more optimal sound. And then you don't have to work as hard for that tone. I'm going to leave that over here above so that you're able to save some gas in that tank, so to speak, for when you do have to sing. If you're sick right now and you're watching this and you have to sing at a performance, I would say don't skip your warm-up. Make sure that you're warming up lightly, doing vocal trills, stretching out that soft palate, vocal trills. Or you can do tongue trills. Just do the very best you can. If your voice cracks, let it crack. The more you try to control that voice cracking, the more tension you're going to be placing on your vocal folds. So trying to relax, letting it be what it is. If it cracks, if it squeaks, if it does that, just let it. Okay, so you warm up lightly, don't skip that, but then trying not to force everything, thinking lighter, like I had said before, and then saving your voice for that performance, doing the very best that you can. This is something that I just cannot emphasize enough, is that to train while you're well. And you may be thinking, well, I'm sick right now, this doesn't help me any. Actually, it does. It does, because with everything that we go through, it's a learning situation. Perhaps it's not happening to you, but it's happening for you, for the future, for future you. There have been times when I've been very sick or just been in so much pain where I realized, you know what, I didn't train as consistently as I could have previously, or long enough previously, to be able to run this vocal marathon that I'm doing right now. I've had a number of students come to me with like little colds and sniffles, and they've been training with me for maybe 6 months or maybe even years, and they notice that they can sing while they're sick. It may not be their favorite sound, but before that, nothing would come out. And so you can strengthen the vocal mechanism. Think about training in times of peace, for then when it's time to call upon your voice, it's ready to go. Or even if you are sick, you will be able to phonate. You will be able to create a sound and sing while maybe you're not at 100%. But if you train beforehand, training consistently over time is really going to pay dividends when you find yourself in a situation like this. So if you're sick right now and you're like, this doesn't help me, it will, because now you feel that feeling of, you know what, I think I should have been training a little bit more. And I've been there, and I totally get it. And it's really hard in the moment, but just know, okay, this performance, it's not going to define who you are. It never can, and it never will. You are on a journey, and your journey doesn't stop here.
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming.
So from this situation, learn all that you can from it, lean into it, and then maybe it means that you need to seek a vocal coach. Maybe it means that you need to warm up regularly. If you want a vocal regimen or just routine on breathing, or if you're wondering, like, how do I work on my voice, but you don't have a teacher, and you would like me to help you, I have some free videos that I'm going to put over here on a vocal series. I have stuff on over singing and the resonance and some warm-ups, and hopefully that will point you in the right direction. So here's a couple of exercises I want you to try. I want you to give a yawn, and you're going to feel the soft palate on the inside of your mouth. It's going to stretch up and outward this way. If you have a mirror and you're able to look at yourself on the inside of the throat, you should see the uvula, which is the hangy ball, and it should go whoop to the roof of your mouth. When you stretch out to the soft palate, you're creating more space for the sound to resonate, all right? And so then the more space you have, the easier it's going to be, and then you won't feel that tension or tightness in the back of your throat. You need that nice, loose, soft palate to lift so that you can create more space to sing, and then you think it's going to take the pressure off of the vocal mechanism, so to speak. Also, when you go lighter, you have to think about not overdoing it, not over-singing. I used to be the queen of over-singing, I have to admit it. But, most of us were just giving too much. So here's a way to be able to troubleshoot how to lightly sing, but still be able to sing supported. I want you to imagine your air coming up and over like a gentle wave over your ear and out. So we breathe in and then breathe out, up and out. A great vowel to try this is on ah. Ah. So that soft palate has to lift in order to create that nice clear ah. And then you think of your air as visually up and over rather than just out. Another technique that you can work on is something called the candle technique, where you imagine, don't put a real candle in front of your face, people. You can imagine a flame in front of you like this, and then you want to, when you sing, try to imagine not letting that flame flicker. All right? Most of us, we sing a little bit too hard. You are with me. What can separate us? I can just imagine that flame going. So as I'm singing this portion, I am going to be supporting. I'm going to be squeezing right here, keeping this portion soft. So I'm thinking inward and down, that pushing motion inward and down. And then I'm going to imagine the air coming up and over, lift that soft palate, and I am going to imagine that flame not flickering at all. What can separate us? So as I'm thinking about that, up and over and that flame, it's just a really great mental reminder of I don't need to give as much as I think I do. So the other way to troubleshoot through this is that the hot air versus cool air analogy. So first sing a phrase, and then you're going to feel a lot of hot air hitting your hand. God is fighting for us. God is on our side. Now I'm going to do the same experiment, but I'm going to think cold air hitting my hand. God is fighting for us. God is on our side. The first one, of course, I overdid it. The second one, it just really helped me visualize pulling back and not pushing as hard. Most of the time when we're sick, we feel like, all right, it's all systems go. I'm going to give it everything I've got. And then you will wear your voice out. Try experimenting with those two things. We have the candle analogy and then hot air versus cool air. Make sure you're supporting your singing. That is always key. Try those. One of the biggest things that I have learned, it's taken me 40 years to do this, is just to relax. When you are tense, when you're carrying tension in your neck, vocal cords, when you're just like overly nervous or just overthinking things, your body responds to that and it tightens up. And tension is the enemy of singing, of the vocal mechanism. I can't tell you how many times I've just been so freaked out about like, oh no, this is going to be the end. And if I don't sing this well, then this is going to be really embarrassing. There's a lot that goes into this, but just remember, a performance is not going to define you. It can't. If you could never sing a note tomorrow, your worth, it has not changed. It may be sad. I've been through that before with a lot of vocal problems, and it hurts, it's painful, and it stinks. But also at the same time, it's really helped me learn that my worth is not in what I do. It is in that I am a child of God, and that He puts us on this earth for a purpose, on purpose, and He's going to use our gifts and talents to serve other people. So if you are looking for a place to start vocally and you're like, man, I don't know where to start, I have a whole vocal series here on YouTube. It is free. I hope that it helps you, and I hope that it gives you some vocal freedom and clarity. And remember, you are not the sum of what you do. You are loved as you are.